My name is Rosa. I am the president of Rosa Brothers Milk Company, and I'm going to take you on a tour today. The first thing that happens when milk arrives at our plant, it's shipped to the plant from the dairy farm. It's in a 6,500 gallon insulated tanker. Think of a giant thermos bottle that has a tank and then layers of insulation and then an outer layer. That's how we transport the milk. That tanker of milk will only vary 1 degree out in 100-degree temperatures over the course of 24 hours. So a very well insulated tank does not need to be refrigerated because it's only a short haul from the farm to the creamery. Once the milk arrives at the creamery, we pull a sample for antibiotics. All milk in the United States is tested for antibiotics before it's processed, so there's no need to worry about antibiotics in milk. It is non-existent. Once the milk is confirmed that it's antibiotic free, then it enters into the creamery, and then that's where we start processing. It first goes into a raw milk silo. The raw milk silo is where we hold it until we decide what we're going to make with it. At that point, the milk can go one of two ways. The milk can go into a cream separator that will separate the cream out from the non-fat milk. And you make two things, cream and non-fat. Or we can keep the milk whole and then we can start making whole milk products with it. So if we are going to separate, we'll need to go through the separator. The cream will go into the cream tank, the non-fat milk will go into the non-fat tank. If we're going to make a whole milk product, then we'll go into the blend tank. In the blending tank, we'll add whole milk, and then we'll actually use our liquefier, the small square machine that we actually run a small amount of milk in, and we'll dump in sugar or flavorings or chocolate or whatever the product is that we're making. And it's actually like a home blender. It has a blender blade at the bottom, and you add in milk and ingredients and it blends them together. And then that product will then run back into the blend tank and we'll make the product. Once the product is consistent and we have the flavoring throughout the milk, then we'll send it over to the pasteurizer and then the homogenizer. And once the milk is pasteurized and then homogenized, then the product will be shipped over or pumped over to the finished product tank. Our finished product tank has 6 compartments. It has 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom. So we're able to hold 6 distinctively different products at one time awaiting the bottle filler. After the product is sat in the finished product tanks, we'll take the first tank, we'll start bottling. And when we're done bottling that, we'll rinse the lines and then we'll come in with another product. So we can run through 6 products at a time. After we have bottled the product, then we put the bottles in cases. Depending on the size of the bottle, there's either 6 bottles or 9 bottles in one of our cases. After the cap is applied, a date is stamped on the bottle, we case them off, and then we put the cases onto the pallets. And then after the pallet is filled up, we usually shoot for around 2,000 pounds in a pallet. Then we'll wrap the pallet and then we'll take it into the cold box and prepare for distribution out on the dock. Once it's out on the dock, we'll load the trucks early morning. The trucks will be loaded. They'll go out to supermarkets and different types of stores for distribution. After we've delivered the milk to the stores, we pick up the empty glass bottles, we bring them back to our dock, leave them on the dock, and then we'll sort them, rewash them, and then go back into circulation again. We use glass bottles in our operation. That means that we have to sort through every bottle as it comes back from the retailers and make sure that there's no dents, chips, or cracks. Then we carry the bottles into our bottle washing room. The bottles are added onto the conveyor in the bottle washer. The bottle washer will take those bottles, they'll go into a dunk tank where they reach 160-degree water with caustic, and that eats any residual milkstone off. And then after the bottles are in that caustic for about 3 minutes, that hot caustic. Then the bottles come out, they're drained, and then they go through a series of rinses to get all the caustic and everything out of the bottles. The final rinse, the tertiary rinse, is a sanitizer and an oxidizer. So that actually dries the bottles as well as sanitizes them, and then they go in immediately for filling on the conveyor. So here at Rosa Brothers, when we started 8 years ago, we wanted to make a product that was different from any other product in the market. And what we found out was we could do some very interesting things with packaging and with flavoring. So we adopted the old-fashioned glass milk bottle. There's 3 major benefits to glass bottles. The first major benefit is milk tends to pick up the flavor of the package that it's in, whether it be plastic or paper or glass. Glass imparts no flavor. So if you want to have a really clean tasting product that just has the flavor of the milk and no outside contamination as far as flavor, glass is the way to go. Another benefit is the insulation. So glass bottles are a thick insulator. Now when you think of a lot of other packaging, there's really no insulation to keep the milk cold. By keeping the milk colder, that's more desirable to the consumer. It also increases the shelf life, because the colder that you can keep the milk, the longer the milk will last in your refrigerator. So the third benefit of the glass milk bottle is that it's good for the environment. When the consumer purchases our milk, they take it home, they consume the milk, they bring the bottle back to the store. There's no plastic jug or a paper carton to put in the trash can. So it really is good for the environment. So the 3 major benefits are the taste, the cold, and the shelf life, and then the environment. So all those things together make it a really good package. The other thing that we do that's really cool is we've flavored milk with some really exotic flavors to make milk interesting again. So we do make the traditional whole milk, we do make the 2% reduced fat, we do make the non-fat, or what you might call skim. We also make heavy cream, half and half, but we've also gone out and we make coffee creamers as well. So we make salted caramel, peppermint mocha, hazelnut, vanilla, all these coffee creamers, and we make them in the glass bottle that you can send back to the store with all the same benefits as the milk. We also make just flavored milks that you can just have any time for a snack after a workout, whatever. The interesting flavors that we've come up with thus far are, obviously we have a really good chocolate, a really thick chocolate. We also have strawberry. And then we get a little bit more exotic. We also make banana. We also make orange creamsicle, which tastes like a 50-50 ice cream or sherbet bar that you may have had before. We also make a flavored milk that tastes like a root beer float. And then our newest flavor is horchata, which is the traditional rice and cinnamon flavored drink. We also seasonally make pumpkin spice coffee creamer, and then of course we make a really rich and indulgent eggnog during the holiday season. In addition to the milks, we make 15 flavors of ice cream. Our ice creams, we go for all natural, very high butter fat. We do a 16% butter fat ice cream. We try to use local ingredients, so we've partnered with a local pistachio grower to make pistachio ice cream. We've partnered with almond growers here in California to make our Rocky Road. And so we're doing a lot of local things with really a super premium, low overrun, high butter fat type of ice cream. I hope you learned a lot today, and I really appreciate you coming out and visiting our Rosa Brothers Creamery today. Thank you.